couldn't let her say I do. I couldn't let her ruin her life. No matter the cost, I had to stop this wedding from happening. I made a run for the altar, screaming from the top of my lungs and hoping I wasn't too late. Believe it or not, my life wasn't always this chaotic. In fact, it used to be pretty chill. Morning, Mom. Smells amazing. Morning, sweetie. Big plans for today? The usual. School, hanging out with Ivy, the coolest girl on the planet, and avoiding Reggie, the most annoying guy on Earth. You really hate him, huh? Yep. Speaking of guys, there's something I've been wanting to tell you. I met someone, and I want you to meet him. I wasn't so much against my mom having a boyfriend, but having the conversation was just kind of cringe. Gotta go to school. Love ya! So I left before I even tried the pancakes, and of course, Ivy, my best friend, thought I was being dramatic. Talia, that's not nice. She deserves to be happy. I know. It's just weird because it's been the two of us for so long.
Hey, Talia. Still trying to win that popularity contest?
Aw, Reggie. Still trying to compensate for your lack of personality? Reggie wasn't his real name. His real name was Ridge, but I had been calling him Reggie for years because he hated it. Most of my days, I tried to avoid him. Sometimes it just wasn't possible. Everything between us turned into a competition. Dodgeball was no exception.
All right, everyone, let's keep it friendly.
Not a chance. Of course, Ridge immediately aimed at my head, but missed. I threw the ball right back at him, but he caught it and gave me one of those super annoying Ridge smirks. Ugh.
Aw, is that all you got, Talia?
I'm just warming up. He thought he was so clever, but he always went for the head. So predictable. I aimed at his shins and he dodged last second, but was clearly pissed.
You played dirty.
Just then, he hit me square in the stomach. What a jerk. Screw the rules. I picked up the ball and started running after him.
Enough! Both of you, out! Now!
Of course, Ridge ruined the game, as always. Next thing we knew, we were in the principal's office. I've had enough of your constant fighting. This ends today. He started it.
Oh, so now it's my fault. You couldn't handle a simple dodgeball game.
You were aiming for my head. And then the door opened on my mom. Ugh. Great. Talia, what happened? Reggie. He's always trying to show off and act like he's better than everyone. Wait, Reggie? That's your Reggie? Not my Reggie.
Oh, so you talk about me.
Not in a good way, believe me.
Ridge, what did you do this time?
What are you doing here?
Rachel, I'm here because of my son.
Reggie is Ridge. Care to fill us in? No, the guy I met, it's him, Tom. Ew, no!
Ridge, the woman I wanted you to meet, it's Rachel.
Oh my God.
No!
All right, I think it's clear. We have more than just a disciplinary issue here. I'll let this one pass, but please, get your children in check. This was horrifying. How could my mom want to be with Ridge's dad? I mean, if that guy made Ridge, he couldn't have been any good for her. Let's go, Talia. How could you, Mom? How could you date his dad? Ridge is the worst. Talia, I understand this is a shock, but Tom and I have found something special, and I want you to give this a chance. I don't want to give it a chance. I don't want to be anywhere near Ridge. They're coming over for dinner tomorrow. I need you to try. For me. Whatever this was, I had to stop it. Talia, how are you feeling? I did everything I could to cancel dinner, including faking a fever. Not great, Mom. I think I'm coming down with something really nasty. We should cancel dinner. Nice try, Talia. But we both know you're not sick. Get up, we have guests coming over. What on earth? Spinach smoothie. I had 5. Figured it'd make me look sick. She rolled her eyes and walked out of the room without saying a word. I let myself fall back. I was miserable. Nothing worked. Having Ridge in my space felt like a total violation of my boundaries. And Mom was doing this awkward, trying to keep the conversation going thing. So, Tom, how's work been?
Busy, as always, but it's rewarding.
Yeah, Dad's always working. Leaves me a lot of free time.
To annoy everyone around you, I bet?
Oh, I aim to please.
Gross. This was torture. Talia, Ridge is actually a foster kid. Tom's been taking care of him for years. Huh, I didn't know that. A foster kid? Maybe he wasn't a spoiled jerk. But that didn't change anything.
I love being a foster dad, but single parenting is tough.
It is. That's part of why we think it's best to move in together. What in the world did she just say? Mom, isn't this a little rushed?
It's hard raising a foster kid alone. I just want Ridge to have a stable home.
I agree, Tom, and I want this as much as you do. This is insane.
Honey, please understand. Raising you by myself has not been easy, and having someone like Tom will help me too.
Sorry I'm such a
I
burden.
never said that. I just want you to give this a chance. It'll be good for all of us in the long run, and I'm sure you'll learn to love Tom. He's such a great father.
If you say so.
Let's all try to make the best of this, okay?
Yeah, right.
Okay, sure.
They weren't kidding. Next thing I knew, Ridge and his dad moved in. The worst part since he moved in, our fridge was always empty.
That pizza slice is mine!
Sharing my food with a teenage boy who ate like a vacuum cleaner was seriously annoying. And so was sharing a bathroom. Hurry up, Reggie!
Aw, sorry. I used all the hot water.
I know what you're thinking. Girl, that guy is shirtless and super hot, but at the moment, I was not in the headspace for all that, okay? I got into the bathroom, the floor was wet, the toilet seat was up, and the water, it was so cold. Oh, I hated him. We turned the house into zones so we wouldn't have to be around each other. I had the TV, and he had the kitchen. The bathroom was a shared space. Hey, stay on your side, Reggie.
There's a basketball game
I
playing.
don't care.
Enough, the two of you!
We're a family, not enemies. Oh, great. Now we can be miserable together.
You two need to find a way to get along because we're together, and that won't change.
I was pacing back and forth, angry. Ridge was leaning against the wall, complaining as always.
Stop pacing. You're making me dizzy.
Then I got an idea. Your dad said that's not gonna change, them being together. Maybe we need to break them up.
You think that would work?
It's worth a shot. If we can make them see how wrong they are for each other, we can get back to our normal lives.
You actually have a decent idea, for once. All right, Talia, I'm in.
Just like that, we had a plan. We were going to ruin their relationship. If Ridge and I were gonna break them up, we had to play dirty. I gave him one of my shirts for him to take a pic to send to his dad from an unknown number. So he took a picture of himself. Yeah, that kind of picture. And used his knees as, well, you get the gist of it.
Mission accomplished. We started away like champions in a comedy flick.
Then I swapped their phones so that Mom would read the message and soon realize this wasn't her phone, but Tom's. Tom, can you come here for a second? Then Tom walked in, his eyes bugging out. He was shocked, clearly. This was good, too good. But instead of fighting, they started laughing, like crazy laughing. Something went wrong, and I needed to see it with my own eyes. So I asked Ridge for the picture.
Came to say thank you for breaking them up? You're welcome.
You didn't shave your legs for this? Oh! I expected Ridge to be pissed that things didn't work out, but I found him going through my mom's dresser. What are you doing?
Just looking for something?
In my mom's stuff?
Yeah.
If we're going to do this, we need to be honest with each other. What are you looking for?
Since nothing's working, I was trying to find something to make her seem untrustworthy. Maybe some old letters or something.
I guess we really are playing dirty, huh?
You bet. Now let's get out of here before we get caught.
Something felt fishy. I knew he was lying to me, but I had no clue what he was really looking for. The next day, I had Ivy over and told her what I saw Ridge do. Maybe he's one of those guys who steals and collects underwear.
Oh, Ivy.
Just keep an eye on him. If he's up to something shady, you'll figure it out. Yeah, you're right, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something more was going on. I went in for a quick refill of our drinks and heard Tom's voice. He sounded pissed.
Rich, how could you mess this up? It was a simple task!
I'm sorry, Tom. I didn't mean to.
You need to start taking things seriously!
Tom? I never realized Ridge called his foster dad Tom. I wondered why he was being so harsh with Ridge. Maybe he caught him in my mom's underwear. I meant drawer. When Tom walked out, I decided to check on Ridge. Hey, are you okay?
Why do you care?
I saw what happened. Tom was pretty hard on you.
This has nothing to do with you. You're always trying to get into other people's personal stuff. Just leave me
I
alone.
wasn't trying to get into your stuff. I was just being nice. Maybe you should try it sometime.
Yeah, because you're the expert on being nice.
You know what, Ridge? I don't need this. I was just trying to
I
help.
don't need your help. Just stay out of my business.
Fine, I will. Just when I thought he wasn't a total asshole, what happened? He just bit my head off for no reason. It's like he doesn't want anyone to be nice to him. Maybe he's just used to dealing with things on his own. Well, he can keep dealing with it by himself. I'm done. But no matter how much I told myself I was done with Ridge, I couldn't stop thinking about him. Later that day, I was watching TV, trying to forget my fight with Ridge, when he showed up looking all sad and guilty.
Hey.
What do you want?
I wanted to apologize. I shouldn't have snapped at you earlier.
Wow, an apology from Ridge Lawson. Didn't think I'd ever see the day.
Yeah, well, I guess there's a first for everything.
Look, we can't keep going on like this. We need some ground rules for living together.
Ground rules?
Yeah, like we each get a day for the TV, we split the kitchen supplies evenly, stuff like that.
Do you really think we need
It
that?
doesn't look like they're going to separate anytime soon.
They have to. They can't stay together.
Clearly, Ridge didn't see himself living with me, so I decided to turn the volume up and ignore him.
I gotta use the restroom.
You don't need to announce that. I don't care. The house was quiet. Too quiet. After a while, I started wondering what Ridge was up to. Hopefully, he didn't stink up our bathroom. Just then, I saw him going through my mom's stuff. Again! What are you doing? Are you stealing from my mom?
No, I'm not stealing anything.
Talia, Ridge, come downstairs. We need to talk. Great. I was ready to tell Mom what I saw, but didn't expect what she was gonna say next. We're getting married. I wanted to scream, but before I could even say a thing, Ridge threw a tantrum.
No, no, no! This is the worst thing ever! You want to get married? Fine, but I won't be there. I won't stand by and watch this happen.
Why do you hate me so much? But before he could answer, Tom lost it on him and started yelling.
Rich! Get out of my house!
Gladly. This isn't even your house. But good riddance!
I couldn't believe Rich just walked out the door. No goodbye, no nothing. Please don't do this.
It's done.
Clearly, he was in no headspace to have a conversation, and my mom wasn't fighting back either. So I went to my room because I didn't really feel like celebrating this wedding announcement. I didn't understand Rich. Did he really hate me so much that he couldn't let our parents get married? I thought things were better between us, but he was still the same brat he had always been. Where could he have gone? No, I didn't care. He was dead to me. Oh, 1 minute he was infuriating. The next, he walked out and I didn't know what I felt anymore. Was it anger? Sadness? Something else? I tried my best for Mom, but my heart just wasn't in it. And Ridge, well, he never came back. Not even for his stuff. And Tom? He didn't seem to care. I couldn't imagine a world in which I would leave and my mom wouldn't care. The big day arrived faster than I thought possible. The ceremony was about to start. Mom looked incredible, and Tom looked like, well, Tom. Just as I was about to walk in, someone grabbed me and pulled me away. And it wasn't just anyone. It was Ridge.
You look great.
Yeah, I have 10 pounds of makeup on and a dress I can't even breathe in. Of course I look great. What are you doing here? I thought you were against this.
I don't have time to fight. I came to tell you something.
Whatever came next was totally unexpected.
Tom is a con artist. He gets money from the government for taking in foster kids and then scams women by playing the difficult to be a single foster dad card. I've been trying to protect you and your mom from him. When I left, I gathered evidence, photos, bank transfers, and other moms he did this to who are willing to testify.
That's why he didn't seem to care when you left. Wait, is that why you were snooping through my mom's stuff?
I was looking for her credit card. I wanted to hide them before he had access to them.
Just as I was about to go tell my mom, he stopped me and grabbed my hand. It felt electric.
Our worlds are gonna be so different after that, and I don't want to risk not telling you something. Living with you, it changed everything for me. I realized I fell in love with you without even knowing it, and look, I'm not good with words. I think it's better I show you.
He kissed me. It was the most incredible feeling ever. I had butterflies in my stomach and my heart was racing. He was so annoying, but gosh, was he a great kisser.
Should we stop the wedding?
Yes.
Rachel Green, do you take Tom Lawson to be your lawfully wedded husband?
Right before she said I do, Ridge and I crashed the party.
No! Don't do it! Tom is a con artist. He's been scamming women for years.
He explained everything, and Mom was so stunned that she couldn't even speak.
You little brat! If it wasn't for you, Ridge wouldn't have cared.
Tom's anger was terrifying, but Ridge stepped in before he could hurt me.
Don't touch her!
Next thing I knew, we heard police sirens, and Mom slapped Tom right across the face. Epic. That's for lunging at my daughter. Are you okay? Yeah, Mom. So happy you didn't end up marrying that jerk. For the first time, I felt a sense of relief. Ridge was safe, and Tom was finally getting what he deserved. And Mom, well, she didn't get scammed after marrying a con artist. After Tom got arrested, we pleaded with the police to let Ridge walk free, and they let him. So long as he promised to testify against Tom. Mom agreed to let Ridge move in with us for good, but not without some ground rules.
Ridge, you're staying with us, but there are clear rules. No sleeping in the same room as Talia, doors open, and respect each other's space.
I think we can manage that.
Yeah, I think we can.
We did our best to follow Mom's rules. Or At least we tried to. God, I was doing it again. Fidgeting, tapping my fingers on the desk. No matter how hard I tried to control it, the urge took over. My ADHD was flaring, and with Mandy's eyes on me, it felt 1,000 times worse. What's the matter, Spaz? Can't sit still for 5 seconds? Everywhere I went, Mandy was there, making my life hell. It's like she lived to ruin my day. I never understood why she hated me, but I was done letting her get away with it. Why are you always on my case? I don't know. Maybe I just don't like your face. Or how you never stop moving. Oops, guess I moved too much. Was it impulsive? Absolutely. But she had it coming. I should have known Mandy wouldn't sit quietly. She had to get back at me for embarrassing her, and she knew exactly how to hit me where it hurt by forcing me to speak in front of the whole school. As you all know, today we're honoring Principal O'Connor, who is retiring after years of service. And to celebrate, the school is gifting him this beautiful painting, his pride and joy. But before we unveil it, we have a special speaker. Arabella Johnson, come on up. My heart nearly stopped. Giving a speech in front of everyone? That was gonna be impossible. Couldn't stop moving, shifting from one foot to the other. I hated this. I could feel the heat rising in my cheeks. Dear fellow students, and, Principal O'Connor. Mandy sat in the front smirking. She made an L on her forehead. Laughter rippled around her. And just like that, something snapped inside me. Couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the bottle and threw it, aiming for Mandy, but yeah, it hit the principal. Of all the people I could have nailed, I froze. My brain went into overdrive. Should I run? Apologize? But I tripped, and then the next thing I knew, the fire alarm was blaring and water was raining down on everyone. Total chaos. Water burst everywhere. Screams erupted as students scrambled for the exits. I stood frozen, drenched, and of course, because I'm me, I managed to knock over the podium. But that wasn't the worst part. The painting behind the principal toppled, falling to the ground with a loud thud. That painting, it was supposed to be his big retirement gift, and now I had completely destroyed it. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, but somehow it always did. So Principal O'Connor made sure I'd suffer. He sent me straight to juvie. And it wasn't just that. Mom and Dad were beyond pissed. They told me after I got out, I'd be leaving town, starting over somewhere new. Like that was gonna solve anything. I tried to explain, to tell them it was all a mistake, but they weren't in listening mode. Nope, they were in "we're ashamed of you" mode. Juvie was rough. The bed felt like a slab of concrete. The food was barely edible, and don't get me started on the hideous uniform. Everything about this place was just the worst. But I had to stay here for 3 months. First day in juvie, and my brain wouldn't stop. Couldn't sit still. All I wanted was to blend in for once, but no. Here comes trouble. Hey, Twitchy, you lost to something? Of course they'd zero in on me. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Or you just think you're better than us? Old me would have thrown hands, but I wasn't about to get in trouble. Not today.
Aw, what's this? A jealousy parade? You guys mad a pretty girl just walked in here?
Stay out of it, Zane.
Oh, sorry. You feeling a little threatened? I mean, I'd be worried too if my competition had, all her teeth still intact. And you, with your lice-infested hair, maybe focus on your personal hygiene before you come for her. Shoot.
Whatever. Freaks.
They like to pick on new blood. Don't sweat it.
He didn't know me, didn't even introduce himself. But somehow he made them disappear, just like that. And you are?
Zane. And no, I don't go to your school. But word travels fast in here. Everyone's heard about the girl who turned a school assembly into a scene from a disaster movie.
Of course. My reputation followed me here too. Perfect. Yeah, well, that wasn't exactly the plan.
Yeah, nothing ever is. But you can let this place chew you up, or you can learn how to work it to your advantage. I can show you how to survive this place, how to make sure no one messes with you again.
Why'd you help me?
Maybe I saw myself in you. I've got ADHD too, if you were wondering.
Wasn't what I expected, but it made sense.
Back home in Iowa, they tried to fix me, but I figured it out on my own. We're not broken, just wired differently.
Zane knew how to handle things. He showed me how to survive. It wasn't about not caring. It was about making people think I didn't. Just one more day, and I was out. But then I saw them. The same girls who tried messing with me when I first got here, now circling some poor kid like sharks. What's wrong, scaredy cat? Of course, I had to step in. Oh my god. You guys are like angels. Thanks for taking care of my little buddy here. Group hug. You guys are the best. Make him so uncomfortable, they can't even deal. Well, we should totally do mani-pedis. Sleepovers. What do you think? Ew, what's wrong with you? I just feel this overwhelming love for you guys today. You're totally cray-cray. That's right. Run.
Well, my girl's all grown up.
I was barely out of juvie, and here I was. New school, new faces. This time I was ready. No one was messing with me. I walked past the groups. Girls giggling by the lockers, jocks messing around by the gym. Some glanced my way, sizing me up, but no one made a move. And then there was Blake, looking like he owned the place. The school's golden boy, a star athlete, poster child for all things obnoxious. He was gonna be fun. 2 weeks in, and Blake made it his mission to get under my skin. Blake was everywhere, smirking in the hallway, grinning at lunch, and even on the court. I ignored him every time, but he never got the hint. But today I'd had enough.
Hey, sweetheart.
Don't call me that. He wasn't just cocky anymore. He was off. I didn't know what it was, but the constant blinking, the way he pulled at his clothes like he was trying to rip them off, it all got to me. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to make it stop. One quick throw, and I hit him where it hurt the most, and he finally moved away, acting like he wasn't hurt at all. I knew this would make him stay away from me for good in just days. I'd gone from the new girl to the legend who put Blake in his place.
Yo, Arabella! That shot with Blake? Epic!
I loved it. Being talked about, admired, it felt good, even if my brain buzzed louder than usual. As for Blake, well, he couldn't even face me after that. From that day, Blake changed. He practiced alone, walked quietly, and kept to himself. The swagger was gone, and so were the crowds. One day after school, I saw the most shocking thing ever. Blake crying. Hey, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I could have made a snarky comment and walked off, but something stopped me. Doesn't look like nothing. What's going on?
It's everything. School, my parents. I can't keep up. My brain's all over the place. I screw everything up.
Wait, was he saying what I thought he was saying?
I have ADHD. Been dealing with it for years. But no one gets it. Not my parents, not my teachers. They just think I'm being a problem.
ADHD, just like me. All this time I thought he was just a jerk, but he was hiding the same thing I was. Yeah, I get it. It's like your brain's a TV with 100 channels and you're trying to watch them all at once.
You too?
Yep. Welcome to the club.
Guess we're both a mess.
After that day, things changed between us. He was no longer just an unbearable jerk, and we actually started to get along quite well. Gradually, I found myself beginning to fall for Blake. It was finally happening. Blake had asked me out. I was hoping he'd also ask me to the upcoming school dance. I was so happy, but then something felt off. He kept checking his phone, like he was waiting for something, and then Mandy showed up, her heels clacking like she owned the place. I felt my heart drop, but I had no idea what was coming. She recorded it, my meltdown, and now everyone was laughing, reliving my biggest screw-up. I locked eyes with Blake, but he said nothing, just looked down with a fake smirk. Oh, did Blake not tell you? Blake's my boyfriend. Long distance, obviously. But when he told me that Arabella Johnson joined his school, I just couldn't resist messing with you. Wait, Blake and Mandy? This couldn't be happening. See, boys like Blake, they don't go for girls like you. He was just playing with you. Come on, Arabella, you really fell for it. Boys like him don't go for crazy like you. I couldn't breathe. They weren't just laughing at the video. They were laughing at me and how I actually believed I was just a joke to them. The next day, I should have stayed home, but no, I just had to go to school and hear all the nasty rumors Mandy spread about me.
I heard she was in juvie for some crazy stuff.
No way. I heard she's like a dealer or something. In a gang, too. Maybe she's the boss there. Like a drug lord or something.
I heard she threw a chair at the principal. He's dead.
She's a killer too!
What a lie. Principal O'Connor was very much alive. Yeah, and she's always bouncing around like she's gonna snap. She gives me psycho vibes. No matter where I went, it was the same thing. People pointing, whispering, acting like they knew everything. Blake knew what Mandy had done, and now he couldn't even look at me. It wasn't like I cared, but I had trusted him, and it hurt. I just had to get away from here. I knew it wouldn't be long before Mom and Dad would be disappointed in me once again. After hearing what happened at school, I had to run to Iowa. I knew Zane must be out of juvie by now, and he'd understand. When I went outside, I had a surprise waiting for me. Zane? What the hell are you doing here?
Got out a week ago. Came to check on you. Running away?
I want to be normal, Zane. My mind never stops. I mess everything up. I just want to be normal.
Normal's overrated, Arabella. You're trying so hard to be something you're not. Stop fighting it.
I didn't want to hear it, but he was right. I've been fighting myself all along.
You don't have to be tough all the time.
I don't know what to do.
Well, start by being real. Be you. The rest will work itself out.
Maybe it was time to stop pretending. Time to figure out who I really was. Chaos and all. Thanks, Zane, for everything.
Anytime, psycho.
The one night I decide to make a statement, of course, my mom and dad are here, volunteering as chaperones. I had to do this, even though public speaking's gotten me in trouble before. So, I've heard a lot of rumors lately. Apparently I'm a drug lord. Yeah, Mom and Dad, that's what kids are saying these days. Honestly, I wish I were that interesting. Yeah, I went to juvie. I mess up all the time, fidgeting, being impulsive, but that doesn't make me a freak. It makes me, and I'm finally okay with that. That's all. Think what you want, but I can barely manage my own life, let alone be a criminal mastermind. I finally said my piece, and when Mom and Dad came to, I thought I was in for a scolding, but they looked proud of me. That took courage, Arabella. We're proud of you.
You did good, kid. Really good.
Go enjoy yourself. We'll be around if you need us. For once, my parents were on my side, but the night wasn't over yet.
Arabella, I need to talk to you.
Blake, don't. You don't owe her anything.
No, Mandy, stop. You don't control me.
Control you? Are you serious? You think she cares about you? She's just some crazy freak who's gonna drag you down, Blake. I was the one that fixed you. Remember?
You know what, Mandy? You are pathetic. I'm fine. I don't need fixing.
Whoa, I didn't know Blake had the guts to stand up to Mandy of all people. Impressive.
I'm sorry, Arabella, for everything. I was a jerk, and you didn't deserve any of it. I really like you.
Yeah, well, she's got better options now, bro.
Whoa, did my life turn into a full-blown rom-com? Okay, truce. Both of you. Stop, I'm not choosing between you. You're both my friends, all right? This isn't over, Arabella! You think you've won? You're nothing. A freak who doesn't belong here. And just like that, it actually was over. Now, both of you dance with me. No drama. Sometimes being weird isn't a weakness. People might think we're crazy, but honestly, all the best people are.
Welcome to Here's My Story. My name is Jade. I rushed to my mom's side as she fell to the floor, clutching her throat and struggling to breathe. Mommy, Mommy! I yelled. I grabbed the phone and dialed 911 quickly. My mom can't breathe. Please help her. Does your mother have any known illnesses? Yes, she has asthma and is always on medication. The operator said, "We're sending an ambulance right away." In the hospital waiting room, I sat nervously until a doctor came to update me. Your mother is stable now. He began. She needs to take her asthma medication regularly, but she hasn't for the past 3 days. Confused and upset, I asked, why hasn't she taken her medicine? The doctor looked sad as he replied, your stepfather didn't give her money for her medicine. We've given her enough for a week, but without a job and insurance, she has to pay for her own medicine. Anger welled up inside me. I knew my stepfather Cliff was stingy, but I hadn't realized his stinginess endangered my mom's health. The following day, I walked into the kitchen after school and saw my mom cooking. My stepfather was already sitting at the table, glancing impatiently at the clock. Mom, you had a terrible attack yesterday. You need to rest, I said, worried. Cliff rolled his eyes. If she rests, who's gonna cook dinner? Just worry about yourself. Anger surged within me. Mom almost died because you wouldn't give her money for her medicine. Cliff looked annoyed. Maybe you should drop out of school and work. Then you can buy her medicine. Tears welled up in Mom's eyes. I stood there, furious and heartbroken, realizing more than ever that we couldn't rely on Cliff. Late that night, I took Rex, my dog, for a walk to clear my head. I was deeply worried about how I could help Mom. We reached the park and I tossed Rex's little ball ahead. He dashed after it eagerly, but when he didn't return after a minute, I started to worry. Rex? Rex! I called, searching among the trees. Then I spotted something unusual behind a bush. A bag. Rex came trotting back with the ball in his mouth, just as I reached for the bag. What is this, Rex? I muttered, picking it up. Nervously, I unzipped the bag. Inside, there was a stack of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh my God, there's so much money here, I exclaimed, my heart pounding with surprise and uncertainty. I immediately knew what I had to do. I've got to turn this into the police, I decided firmly. Taking Rex home, I planned to go straight to the police station. They would know how to find the rightful owner of the money. As soon as I walked through the door, Cliff's eyes locked on the bag. What's that? He demanded sharply. I found this bag full of money in the park. I'm going to take it to the police, I stated, trying to sound determined. My stepfather's face changed from surprise to a look of calculation. Give it here, Jade. Think of how that money could help us, especially with your mom's medicine. No, it's not ours to use. We need to do what's right, I replied firmly, holding the bag close. Just then, Mom walked into the room and caught the tail end of our conversation. Jade's right. We can't keep it, she supported firmly. Cliff paused, then seemed to resign himself to our decision. All right, it's late now. We'll take it to the police in the morning, he said, though his reluctance was evident. I carried the bag to my room, still feeling upset. How can anyone even think about spending someone else's money? That's just like stealing, I thought to myself. I knew tomorrow would be a big day. In the morning, I would hand the money over to the police, then off to school. And after that, I was headed to a job interview at a local restaurant that needed a dishwasher. With all these thoughts swirling in my head, I lay down, determined to do the right thing. Soon, I drifted into a deep sleep. I woke up to the blaring of my alarm clock, groggy and disoriented. Rubbing my eyes, I stumbled towards the door to go to the bathroom, but something was off. The door wouldn't open. I jiggled the handle a few more times, but no luck. It was definitely locked from the outside. Panic surged through me. I dashed over to check my desk where I'd left the bag of money, but it was gone. No, 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 I muttered under my breath. It had to be my stepfather. Who else? I pounded on the door, shouting, Cliff! Cliff! Open the door! That money isn't yours! This is stupid! No answer came. Mom! Mom! Please open the door! I yelled next, but still there was silence. A thought crossed my mind. Did Cliff trick Mom too? But that didn't make sense. Desperate, I remembered my mobile phone and reached for it, only to find it wasn't there either. Cliff must have taken it. Hours passed as I waited anxiously. Finally, I heard footsteps. The door unlocked, and it was Mom. She looked exhausted, but hugged me tightly right away. Your stepfather took the money, she said, her voice shaky as she handed me a note. He drugged me with sleeping pills. The note was blunt. I'm taking this money. Do not call me or go to the police, or you will regret it. Tears started rolling down Mom's cheeks. I stood there stunned. How could Cliff do this to us? Despite everything, life had to go on. My mom's medication was about to run out, and we needed money. I went for a job interview at a local diner and got hired as a dishwasher on the spot. The next night brought an unexpected twist. Cliff burst through the door, his expression frantic. The money was counterfeit, he blurted out as he stormed in. They almost turned me into the police for counterfeiting. I barely escaped. This is all your fault, he accused, pointing at me. Mom shot up from her chair, her voice filled with anger. How dare you come back into this house? This is my house, and if anyone is going to leave, it's you, Cliff retorted sharply, glaring at us. The next day, as I was on my way back to work, something completely unexpected caught my eye. My picture, along with Cliff's, was plastered on billboards around town. Under my picture, the words, good person, were boldly printed, and under Cliff's, bad person, accompanied by a mysterious message. Wait for tonight. At work, my coworkers immediately bombarded me with questions about the billboards. I honestly have no idea. I admitted, my curiosity growing by the minute. What was going to happen tonight? When I got home, the air was thick with tension. Cliff was visibly shaken, likely from seeing the billboards. Confused, I quickly checked online to figure out why we were suddenly all over social media. It turned out we were featured on the TV show, What Would You Do? Suddenly, everything started to make sense. We gathered around the TV as the episode began. The host explained that the bag of money I found was part of a social experiment to see what people would do. Report it or keep it. A camera and microphone hidden inside had recorded everything. The episode took a dramatic turn when they showed what happened after Cliff took the bag. The program's cameraman had discreetly followed him from a distance. They filmed him spending extravagantly at a fancy restaurant and buying designer clothes with the money. The climax came when Cliff tried to buy an expensive watch, and the clerks realized the money was fake. Before they could call the police, Cliff panicked, dropped the bag, and ran. Watching this unfold on TV, Mom and I couldn't help but laugh and shake our heads. Cliff, sitting right next to us, looked terrified, realizing that his actions were now known to everyone. Just as we were settling down from all the excitement, there was a knock at the door. Cliff turned ghostly pale and whispered frantically,
It must be the police. Don't open it, Jade.
but I laughed and walked over to the door, with Mom chuckling behind me. Cliff watched us, his eyes wide with fear. To our surprise, it wasn't the police at the door. It was the producer of the What Would You Do show. He was holding the same bag I had found in the park, but this time, it was filled with real money. The producer handed me the bag, smiling.
Thank you for doing the right thing.
He then looked at Cliff and added,
I hope your stepfather has learned his lesson.
With that, he turned and left. Right after the producer left, Cliff turned to me with a greedy look in his eyes.
I deserve half that money. Actually, all of it. Give me the bag.
This money is for Mom's medicine, I replied, holding the bag away from him. Mom then faced Cliff, her expression stern and resolute. Aren't you ashamed? I can't stay married to someone like you. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. You need to leave this house, now. Cliff stuttered, clearly caught off guard.
Where am I supposed to go at this hour?
Feeling a bit of pity, I pulled out $100 from the bag and handed it to him. Here's some money for a hotel, I said. Cliff snatched the money, stuffed it into his pocket, and stormed out of the house without another word. After Cliff left, I sat down and counted the money in the bag. It totaled $499,900. More than enough to cover Mom's medical expenses for a long time. Feeling a huge relief, I realized we wouldn't have to worry about money for her treatment anymore. Life gradually got back to normal as I continued with school. We never saw Cliff again. It was as if we were starting a new chapter, one that promised a better future for us.
Hi, I'm Stella. My family is very wealthy. We live in a highly secure villa outside the city. People think that we are rich because my dad invests in stocks, but this is a lie that my parents made up. Actually, my dad hasn't worked since the day I was born. So where did we get all this money? From my crying. You heard that right. Because every time I cry, in addition to tears, a pearl comes out. Yes, just one pearl every time. But since it's a high-quality pearl, it's worth $25,000. As you see, every time I cry, I make a small fortune for my family. In nature, pearls are produced by oysters. When something enters the oyster through its shell, it secretes a fluid to protect itself. It coats the uninvited guest with this fluid and renders it harmless. In time, the fluid hardens and becomes a pearl. Pearls are a wonder of nature. They are very rare, and that's why they are extremely expensive. So why do I cry pearls? I don't know. I asked my mother about it once. She said, "We discovered you were crying pearls when you were a baby." We were obviously very surprised and we wanted to know why. But if we had asked our doctors or scientists about it, your secret would have come out. For your safety, we decided not to tell anyone. For all we know, this is a miracle. Miracles do happen, and we witness them. That's all we can do. My parents take every precaution they can think of to keep this a secret. They are worried about the mob kidnapping me if anyone finds out. I'm scared too. That's why I follow every rule my family has put in place to keep my secret safe. For example, I never leave home by myself. I've never been to school. I'm being homeschooled. I don't use social media. When I was younger, I wasn't even allowed to go online. Thankfully, my family trusts me enough to use the internet now. I know that my life is boring, but I can honestly say that I'm happy. The only thing that upsets me is that I have no friends. I have a cousin, Cecilia, who is my age. She visits us once or twice a year with my aunt and uncle. She's the only person I can call my friend, but I don't particularly like her. Whenever we hang out, she always complains about everything I have. She says, "Your house is too big. Ours looks like a chicken coop. You have amazing clothes. I have to wear all this cheap stuff. It's not fair." Yes, they are not very well off, but according to my dad, it's their own fault. My dad told me the only reason they ever visit is to ask for money. Once I gave them $30,000. They went straight to Vegas. They stayed at the most expensive hotel. They gambled from dusk till dawn. They lost everything in a week and then came back home. Cecilia also steals stuff from my room whenever she comes over. She starts going through my things as soon as she is alone in the room. If she likes something, she puts it in her bag. Once one of my rings and a pair of sunglasses went missing. The next time she came to visit, she was wearing both the sunglasses and the ring. Even though I couldn't believe she had the nerve to show up like that, I couldn't say anything. Normally, when Cecilia and her family come over, they stay for a few hours and then leave. But that night, her mom said, "We had a little too much wine at dinner. We really shouldn't drive. Why don't we stay over?" My mom had to say yes, even though she didn't love the idea. If that weren't enough, Cecilia said, "Let's have a slumber party," and said we could sleep together in my bed. Before we went to bed, she said, "We can't have a slumber party without milk and cookies." I thought, why did this girl suddenly start acting like she's my best friend? I would find out soon enough. When I woke up, I had a terrible headache. My uncle, aunt, and Cecilia were standing in front of me. Cecilia said, "We know where your money comes from. Now it's our turn. You will make us rich." I said to myself, "Don't cry. Don't give these horrible people what they want." But at the same time, I was shaking with fear. My eyes involuntarily welled up. My aunt got really excited. "She's going to cry," she said. "Let's see if what she wrote in her diary is true. Does she really cry pearls?" That's when everything became clear. I told you I was sad about not having any friends. That's why 3 months ago I started keeping a diary. I was writing down everything I wanted to tell a friend. Apparently, Cecilia had been looking for something to swipe from my room again. That's how she must have found my diary. I had written about crying pearls. Obviously, Cecilia had told her parents, and they decided to kidnap me. I turned to Cecilia. "You put something in my milk last night, didn't you?" I asked. Her mom was the one who replied, "2 huge sleeping pills. I have insomnia and I can't sleep without taking those pills. Finally, something good came out of this damn disease," she said, belting out a laugh. Then she looked down into my eyes. "I thought you were about to cry. Relax. You can cry as much as you want while you're with us." My uncle said, "You wrote in your diary that a single pearl is worth $25,000. A pearl must be huge. How does it come out of your eye?" I looked at him with contempt. "It's not the size of the pearl that determines its price, it's the quality," I said. He didn't like my attitude. "I can't wait to see that glorious pearl. When are you gonna cry? If you don't cry soon, we'll have to make you." I felt like I was about to break down any second, but somehow I managed to keep it together. I was determined not to give them what they wanted. We were next to a house in the middle of the woods. My aunt grabbed me by the arm and led me inside. Cecilia followed us. We entered a room. Cecilia said, "It's no secret that I've always been jealous of you. Now I'm even more jealous. In fact, I hate you for being so special. Thankfully, you will be our servant from now on. Thanks to you, we'll be rich. I'm happy to make you cry if you can't do it on your own." Very calmly, I said, "No, I'm not going to cry. Whatever you do, you won't be able to make me cry. My dad must have called the police. I'm sure they're looking for us as we speak." Cecilia said mockingly, "Your parents keep you at home at all times. I wonder why. They must be very scared for the secret to come out. You know very well that they won't go to the police." My aunt said, "When we come back to this room, we want to see at least one of those pearls. Otherwise, we won't be responsible for what might happen to you," and slammed the door. Then she locked it. I was wondering what my parents were doing. Cecilia was right. They couldn't have called the police. Even if they did, it was highly unlikely that the police would find us. We were deep in the woods. I was feeling really awful. I really wanted to cry. I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I couldn't help it. As always, a pearl came out of my eye and dropped to the ground. I picked it up. It looked gorgeous. Crying pearls was obviously a blessing, but it was also a curse. I couldn't stop myself. I started sobbing. Another pearl came out. That's when I realized something. The worse I felt, the more beautiful the pearl. These ones were so much smoother than any pearl I'd cried before. They were glistening. I couldn't give these up. I put them in my mouth. All I could think of was to swallow them. At that moment, the door opened. Cecilia came in. Seeing me, she yelled, "Mom, come quick! Her eyes are red! She cried!" I decided not to swallow the pearls. I had an idea. I opened my mouth and made sure Cecilia saw them. She called her parents again, even louder this time. "Mom, Dad, she cried 2 pearls, but they're in her mouth. Come here now!" My aunt and uncle came running into the room. I opened my mouth and showed them the pearls. Then I pointed with my finger, first to my throat, then to my stomach. They all froze. "She means she's going to swallow them!" Cecilia screamed. I nodded. She understood what I was saying. This time I pointed at the door. Cecilia turned to her parents. "What are we going to do? She's threatening us with swallowing the pearls," she said. "What do you want? Do you think we'll let you go?" my aunt said threateningly. My uncle stopped his wife. "Stop. She's holding $50,000 in her mouth right now. Those are our pearls. Don't let them go to waste." He pulled out his phone. He dialed a number. He showed me the phone screen and saw that he was video calling my parents. They went crazy when they saw me. My mom was so excited. She said, "Honey, are you okay? It was your uncle who did it, wasn't it?" My dad knew it was my uncle who was holding the phone. "You snake! I will make you pay for this!" he roared. My uncle replied, "Your daughter has 2 pearls in her mouth. Tell her to give them to us. Otherwise, you will never see her again." "Honey, please give them the pearls. These are evil people. They can hurt you. Please listen to me," my mom begged me. I had listened to my mom my whole life, but this time, I was going to do what I wanted. I looked first at my uncle, then at my aunt, and finally at Cecilia. They were watching to see what I was going to do. I pointed to my mouth with both my index fingers, and I swallowed the pearls. I heard my parents scream over the phone, and Cecilia and her parents did too. But I was so happy I did that. "The pearls taste even better than they look," I said. My uncle was so mad. He threw the phone and started walking towards me. At that moment, there was a loud bang on the door. My uncle and his wife looked at each other, terrified. "We're in the middle of the woods. Who can this be?" my uncle whispered. My aunt and Cecilia were waiting anxiously. From what I could gather, the person at the door was someone my uncle knew. He seemed very surprised when he asked, "Why are you here?" The person who arrived laughed and replied, "My sister called me. You weren't thinking about partying without me, were ya?" Cecilia and her mom were relieved because the person who showed up was my aunt's older brother, Walter. I'd seen him only once before. All I could remember was that he was an unpleasant man. When Walter walked in, my aunt said, "Why did you come early? I told you to come tomorrow." Walter said, "The story you told me over the phone got me really excited. I couldn't wait until tomorrow. I just had to see this goose with the golden eggs. I still find it difficult to believe. Is this girl really crying pearls?" She replied, "Yes, she really cries pearls. She just cried 2 of them in a row, but then she swallowed them both." Walter looked at me with a grin. "So, you're a tough cookie. Fantastic. I spent half my life in jail. My specialty is helping people like you find the right path." I began shaking with fear. I almost started tearing up again, but I managed to hold it back. Walter turned to Cecilia. "I need to eat something. I've been driving for 5 hours straight. If my dear niece wants to make her uncle a snack, I won't say no." Cecilia took her uncle's arm. "We picked up some snacks on the way. Nibble on these for now. Soon we'll be eating only at the best restaurants anyway," she said. They were laughing as they left the room. My uncle glared at my aunt. "Why did you call your brother? The man is a total pain in the neck. He shouldn't have known about this. She said, "You do realize that we kidnapped someone, right? Do you think we can hide in this house forever? We need to get out of the country right away. Walter will help us cross the border. We should head over to Mexico first, and from there, we can go wherever we want, as long as we have this no-limit credit card with us." Walter and Cecilia came back grinning. Cecilia was holding half an onion. She said, "We had a brilliant idea," and held the onion up to my face. "How about a crying sash, my dear cousin? We found an easy way to make you cry." When my eyes welled up, they all got really excited. I grimaced. "Can you get that away from my face, please? I need to cry naturally for the pearls to form. That onion is only good for stinking up this room." My aunt screamed as if she had the best idea ever. "Cecilia, pull up a sentimental song. You remember that song that always makes me cry? Oh, what is it called?" "I'm not a crybaby like you," I said to her. "No song or movie can make me cry." "But some of the songs I can sing can make you cry," Walter said, baring all of his teeth. They laughed. Walter continued in a calm voice. "You don't have to worry. I'll take care of this tough girl. But first, let's drink up. We are in possession of a goose that lays golden eggs. We have to celebrate that." Walter's words worked. They were in a good mood as they left the room. I laid down, feeling desperate. All of a sudden, I woke up to the sound of the door slamming. I saw Walter when I finally managed to get my eyes open. He was yelling, "Get up! Now! We're leaving!" I was still having a hard time understanding what was happening. Walter grabbed my arm and led me out of the room. I looked inside the house. My uncle, aunt, and Cecilia were all lying on the floor. "What did you do to them?" I screamed. "Don't worry, they're sleeping like babies." Then Walter pushed me outside. After hours of driving, we finally stopped. Walter got me out of the car, and we were in a place that looked like a garage. There were a lot of cars around and 4 big guys. One of them pointed to a car that was parked right beside me and screamed, "Boss, you love a Mercedes? Look, we got a spectacular one!" Without even looking at the car, he said, "Good job, but from now on, we won't have to steal cars. We'll have so much money on our hands thanks to her. You'll find out soon enough and thank me for the rest of your life," he growled. The guy with tattoos wasn't happy, but before he could say anything, Walter shoved me into a room. I'd never felt so scared in my life. I was fighting back tears, but then I couldn't. I started crying. A perfect pearl emerged out of my eye. Walter grabbed it before it fell to the ground. He was looking at it, fascinated. He was also very surprised. He mumbled to himself, "I'd never have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes." Then he looked at me. "You're the best thing that could ever happen to me. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Why should I share it with those idiots outside? You should be crying only for me. All these pearls must be mine," he said. He'd made up his mind. He grabbed my arm and dragged me outside. The men were staring at me in disbelief. Walter sensed that there was something going on. One of them said, "We saw everything from the security camera. Was that a real pearl that came out of the girl's eye?" Then he turned to me. "But how? How can you do that?" he asked. Pulling me towards the car, Walter yelled, "There's no such thing. That stuff only happens in fairy tales. You saw it wrong." I resisted Walter's pull and stopped him. I yelled back at them, "What you saw was real. I cry pearls. Each pearl is worth $25,000. If you stop him, I'll give you 40 pearls each. That makes $1 million per person." They hesitated for a second. Then they looked at each other. The man in tattoos said, "Attack!" All hell broke loose. I stepped aside and watched everything go down. After a while, they tied Walter to a chair. He was out of breath. "I'm your boss. Let me go now. I'll give you 100 pearls each." I laughed. "You might have 100 pearls, but if you get caught, pearls won't help you out in prison. I won't tell the police about you. You can trust me. Every time I cry a pearl, it will go toward my debt to you," I said. Walter was about to say something, but the men put a gag in his mouth to keep him quiet. "You can go now. You'll hear from me soon," I said to them. I took out Walter's phone and called 911. The police arrived shortly after. I asked them, "Will you excuse me for a minute? I'll be back soon. I had to run to an empty room because I was about to shed some happy tears. When I started to cry, the most beautiful pearl that I'd ever seen in my life came out. I put the pearl in my pocket. I owed 160 pearls to the men who saved me, so I had 159 more to go. When I got back, Walter was telling the police, "Please believe me, this girl is crying pearls. Let me go. We can all be rich together." The policeman laughed at him. One of them said, "Hey, yeah, and I'm crying diamonds. These guys are getting more and more creative to get themselves out of jail." The policeman had called my parents. Both of them were a mess when they arrived. My mom was crying. "Please don't hug me. Just get me out of here," I said. The police were surprised to see me act this way. Of course, there was a reason for it. If I had hugged my family, I would have immediately started crying, and then they would have realized Walter was telling the truth. I told my parents everything on the way home. I cried a few times as I was telling my story to them, so I got 5 more pearls on the ride home. 154 to go. Currently, we live in a different country. I was against it at first, but my mom said, "We were the only ones who knew your secret until now, but today there are 8 other people who know you cry pearls. We have to do this for your safety. We need to get away from here." I had to agree. I can't tell you where we live now, but I can tell you that we are doing really well. I did pay my debt to those guys that saved me. And because they were mostly happy tears, the pearls that came out were all perfect too. I'm sure they sold them for more than $25,000. Because I owe my life to them, I sent them 10 more pearls each as a bonus. I'm sure you're curious to know what happened to my uncle, aunt, and Cecilia. I really don't know. The last time I saw them was as I was leaving the cabin in the forest. They were sleeping soundly because of the sleeping pills. We never heard from them again. Maybe they got scared of getting caught by the police and fled to Mexico. But life can't be easy for them because I'm not around. Hi, I'm Stella. My family is very wealthy. We live in a highly secure villa outside the city. People think that we are rich because my dad invests in stocks, but this is a lie that my parents made up. Actually, my dad hasn't worked since the day I was born. So where did we get all this money? From my crying. You heard that right. Because every time I cry, in addition to tears, a pearl comes out. Yes, just 1 pearl every time. But since it's a high-quality pearl, it's worth $25,000. As you see, every time I cry, I make a small fortune for my family. In nature, pearls are produced by oysters. When something enters the oyster through its shell, it secretes a fluid to protect itself. It coats the uninvited guest with this fluid and renders it harmless. In time, the fluid hardens and becomes a pearl. Pearls are a wonder of nature. They are very rare, and that's why they are extremely expensive. So why do I cry pearls? I don't know. I asked my mother about it once. She said, "We discovered you were crying pearls when you were a baby. We were obviously very surprised and we wanted to know why. But if we had asked our doctors or scientists about it, your secret would have come out. For your safety, we decided not to tell anyone. For all we know, this is a miracle. Miracles do happen, and we witness them. That's all we can do." My parents take every precaution they can think of to keep this a secret. They are worried about the mob kidnapping me if anyone finds out. I'm scared too. That's why I follow every rule my family has put in place to keep my secret safe. For example, I never leave home by myself. I've never been to school. I'm being homeschooled. I don't use social media. When I was younger, I wasn't even allowed to go online. Thankfully, my family trusts me enough to use the internet now. I know that my life is boring, but I can honestly say that I'm happy. The only thing that upsets me is that I have no friends. I have a cousin, Cecilia, who is my age. She visits us once or twice a year with my aunt and uncle. She's the only person I can call my friend, but I don't particularly like her. Whenever we hang out, she always complains about everything I have. She says, "Your house is too big. Ours looks like a chicken coop. You have amazing clothes. I have to wear all this cheap stuff. It's not fair." Yes, they are not very well off, but according to my dad, it's their own fault. My dad told me the only reason they ever visit is to ask for money. Once I gave them $30,000. They went straight to Vegas. They stayed at the most expensive hotel. They gambled from dusk till dawn. They lost everything in a week and then came back home. Cecilia also steals stuff from my room whenever she comes over. She starts going through my things as soon as she is alone in the room. If she likes something, she puts it in her bag. Once one of my rings and a pair of sunglasses.
হাই হিটে দিব, দেওয়ার পরে মিডিয়াম করে দিয়ে আপনি হাতে এখানে দেখবেন টেম্পারেচারটা ঠিক আছে নাকি, এটা ভালো মতো প্যাড ড্রাই করে নেবেন।
আপনারা সবাই জানেন আজকে আপনাদের রান্নার জন্য সময় দেওয়া হয়েছে 2 ঘন্টা, অর্থাৎ একটা লম্বা সময়, আমি বলবো 2 ঘন্টা। এই সময়ের মধ্যে কুকিং ডান করতে হবে, প্লেটিং, কস্টিং অ্যান্ড কিচেন ক্লিন। আপনাদের সময় শুরু হচ্ছে এখন। পার্টিসিপেন্টস, আর মাত্র 1 ঘন্টা 30 মিনিট বাকি আছে। আজকে যেহেতু আপনারা টপ 10 লড়ছেন, আমরা প্রত্যেকে চাই আপনারা সবাই ভালো পারফরমেন্স দিবেন। বেস্ট অফ লাক। ডিয়ার মেন্টরস, শুরু হচ্ছে আপনাদের মেন্টরস টাইম আউট। প্রত্যেক পার্টিসিপেন্টসের জন্য আপনারা পাচ্ছেন 2 মিনিট করে।
আগুন দিয়ে পুড়ে দেন, টস করে, আর প্লেটিংটা যেন সুন্দর হয়, এরকম করতে পারেন। তো এটা ঠিক আছে। হাই হিটে দিব, দেওয়ার পরে মিডিয়াম করে দিয়ে আপনি হাতে এখানে দেখবেন টেম্পারেচারটা ঠিক আছে নাকি, এটা ভালো মতো প্যাড ড্রাই করে নেবেন।
আজকে আমাদের বিশেষ অনুরোধে আসছে বিশেষ তারকারা।
তো তাদের জন্য আমরা কিছু এক্সট্রা স্পেশাল খাবার রান্না করব।
এবারে সময় হলো আজকের চ্যালেঞ্জ কি সেটা জানার।
ডিয়ার পার্টিসিপেন্টস, বুঝতেই পারছো আমাদেরকে দেখে, কথা শুনে, যে আসলেই আজকে আমাদের জন্য একটা স্পেশাল ডে। আর এই স্পেশাল ডেতে আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন কিছু স্পেশাল গেস্ট।
স্পেশাল গেস্ট তার মানে কথা একদম ক্লিয়ার। আজকে আমাদের বিশেষ অনুরোধে আসছে বিশেষ তারকারা, এবং সেই তারকাদের জন্যই আজকের চ্যালেঞ্জ কুক ফর দ্য স্টার। দারুণ।
ফর দ্য স্টার ইজ অলওয়েজ ফান, কারণ আমরা এই চ্যালেঞ্জগুলোতে দেখে থাকি, বিগত সিজনে দেখেছি, আমরা জানি যে অনেক সেলিব্রিটি আসে। তো এটা আমাদের জন্য খুব একটা বলবো যে ভালো মুহূর্ত কাটে, কারণ তাদের সাথে মিট অ্যান্ড গ্রিট হয় আমাদের।
পার্টিসিপেন্টস, আমাদের বাসায় যখন গেস্ট আসে অর হোটেল রেস্টুরেন্টসে অ্যাজ শেফস, গেস্টদেরকে আমরা সবসময় স্পেশাল খাওয়াই রান্না করে প্রেজেন্ট করি। আজকে এই মহামঞ্চে আসতেছে কিছু স্পেশাল গেস্ট, সো তাদের জন্য আমরা কিছু এক্সট্রা স্পেশাল খাবার রান্না করব।
ওনারা আমাদের বিনোদন জগতের বড় বড় তারকা, তো কাজেই তাদের জন্য তো আমাদের স্পেশাল কিছু করতেই হবে।
আপনাদের এমন কিছু স্পেশাল ডিশ তৈরি করতে হবে যাতে আমাদের আজকের বিশেষ অতিথিরা এসে আপনাদের খাবার খেয়ে মুগ্ধ হয়ে যান, ঠিক আছে?
কিন্তু বিজ্ঞ বিচারক, সেই স্পেশাল ডিশগুলো কি?
সেটার জন্য তো ওই যে সবসময় থাকে ফিশ বোল।
ফিশ বোলটা আমি খুব সযত্নে রেখেছি, এখনই নিয়ে আসছি।
পার্টিসিপেন্টস, ফিশ বোল আমার হাতে আছে, আপনারা একে একে আসবেন অ্যান্ড আজকের রেসিপি নিয়ে যাবেন।
কার ভাগ্যে কি রেসিপি পড়েছে আমরা জানতে চাই। প্রথমেই যাব দিবার কাছে।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 7, পিৎজা মাফিন, মিনি কাতায়েফ, পমগ্রেনেট শুটার।
ব্ল্যাক স্কার্ফ হোল্ডার শাফায়াত।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 8, চিকেন ললিপপ উইথ সুইট চিলি সস, রেড ভেলভেট কাপকেক, অ্যাপল ফিজ।
চড়ুই পাখি একটা গেছে, আরেকটা চড়ুই পাখি বাকি। নওশিন।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 3, চিকেন স্লাইডার্স, ডেট বাইটস, ব্লু লাগুন।
এবার আমরা যাব নওগাঁয় জুয়াইরিয়ার কাছে।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 9, মিনি ইম্পান্ডাস, ক্রিম ডোনাট, অরেঞ্জ সামার কুলার।
নেক্সট মৌসুমি, আপনার রেসিপিটা বলবেন।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 10, প্রাণ টেম্পুরা, মিনি পাভলোভা, মিন্ট লেমন মজিটো।
এরপর নিশাত।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 1, চিকেন পকেট শর্মা, চুরুস উইথ চকলেট ডিপিং সস, পিনা কোলাডা।
উর্মি, আপনার রেসিপিটা বলবেন।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 6, চিকেন হাফ মুন পাই, ওয়েফার রোল উইথ চকলেট ফিলিং, লেমন মিন্ট মোহিতো।
তামান্না, তোমার কি রেসিপি পড়েছে দেখি?
মেনু 5, চিকেন সাটে, চকলেট এক্লিয়ার্স অ্যান্ড ফ্রুট পাঞ্চ।
এরপর লিনা, লিনা কি পড়েছে?
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 4, মিনি বাউবান উইথ বারবিকিউ চিকেন, টুলুম্বা, ব্রাজিলিয়ান লেমনেড।
লাস্ট কুমো।
আমি পেয়েছি মেনু 2, শ্রিম ককটেল, মিনি ফুড টার্ট আর স্ট্রবেরি মোহিতো।